Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got singer Melba Moore with me. So welcome, Melba.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm here. Everybody, hello.
You know, I'm old enough to remember when you had your own variety show, which was probably in the 70s, right?
Yes, it was.
It was, yeah. My parents loved to listen to you sing, so variety show just made sense that they would watch. So I remember those days of watching. So I kind of consider myself a fan of yours for like 50 years.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you.
My parents still are. They're still here, but they loved disco at that time, and you had some pretty good hits.
I did
in the 70s with disco. I think This Is It was probably their favorite, as a lot of people would say that.
Great.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That was done. That was written by Van McCoy, who did the Disco Hustle, that really ushered in the disco era. So I don't know, I'm name dropping, I guess, because Van McCoy was just so important to issuing in that whole period.
Right.
Even Ethel Merman had a disco record. Everybody did disco.
Well, disco's a good sound.
Not to mention people like Donna Summer, who was really Ms. Disco.
When at that time we had a family station wagon, and it had a 8-track player in it.
Yeah.
And one of the only 8 tracks we had was Donna Summer. So and it was so good, but we wore it out.
I know you did, because it was good.
It was so good. We had Donna Summer. We had a Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
And then ELO. So Electric Light Orchestra. So those were the 3 that we had, and we just constantly rotated those through when we were in the car. Wasn't too bad.
On the road.
On the road. Well, Melba, let's start this way. You've been doing this for such a long time, but what got you into the entertainment business, the music business? Difficult business to be in. You know, what made you want to go into that?
It's in my blood. My father's name is Teddy Hill. You have to Google him because he was very popular with his own big band.
I was going to say he was a big band guy.
Big band guy. My mother was a professional singer.
Yep.
So it's in my genes. And she married a piano player.
Okay.
And and he had a son and a daughter. So I was an only child in the beginning, but and then we had 2 more brothers later on. He made us all take piano lessons because he was a piano player.
Yeah.
And so it was in my genes, but was in the family, was in our daily life. So
yeah,
I was surrounded by music after she married my stepfather, to the point where, well, first of all, by the time I was about 10 years old or so, when we all sang, we discovered I had a voice.
Right.
So by the time it came to go to high school, I really wanted to focus in on music. So I decided, instead of just going to the traditional high school that my stepfather's family always went to, I wanted to go to Artist and major in music. And so from on, so it's been way over 50 years. I've been hooked.
I knew your dad was a big band guy. My father was also a big fan of that type of music. You know, he was born in 1940, so he grew up in that period where big band was pretty popular. So yeah, so I knew that as well, and it does make a difference when you're surrounded by music. It's difficult not to do something within
Well,
you.
I'll tell you, my father really did not want me to come into the industry. He wanted us to have what he felt was secure
That's
job.
right. He wanted to make sure you were okay. You're going to be
Yeah,
able to support yourself.
all of us became educators first.
That's
So
not
I
a terrible way to get into
huh?
music. That's not a terrible way to do it. You've at least got something to fall back on if
No,
things don't
it's
work
turned to
out.
be really good, really
Yeah.
good. Foundation, I studied it. I really know it very, very well from a technical point of view and from an entertainment point of view. I've heard all the bad stories, been through most of them myself, so and I still love it. So
I love that. You know, it's so rare to find what your career is going to be ever. You know, at least one that you enjoy, and you
right.
found it really early, and you're still doing
No,
it.
no, I found it late because I taught school first. I never wanted to teach school.
Well, yeah, okay. So
It's not like
yeah,
I said, okay, yeah, I want to go teach.
you knew you
No.
wanted something in music, though. You
Well,
just
it wasn't to
got
teach
in.
school, I tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, my dad was a school teacher, and I get it. It's
But I
a
tell you,
hard job.
once I got into it, I found that I'm kind of gifted as a teacher. It's another gift. I enjoyed the students.
Yeah,
I didn't like the environment because it wasn't artsy enough, it wasn't free enough.
right.
But the actual technical aspect of music, sharing with the young people and everything, that I was really good at. Which I think it was a precursor toward an audience.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. So, were you teaching music? Was that what you were doing?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's not terrible. That's not
Well,
terrible. You're at
no,
least sharing your gift with young
oh,
people.
that part was fabulous, but I didn't want the cultural aspect or the lifestyle of being a school teacher. It's too limiting.
Yes, agree.
And you feel like after a point you're in a prison.
Yeah, I totally get that. I watched my dad go through those
I,
same
I,
struggles.
oh, okay. And I think
Yeah,
like if you have entertainment parents and they're out all over, they're having a good time and you stuck in, a schoolhouse. I mean, you feel the difference. You don't feel
yeah,
like you have the freedom to move and go and see the world and whatever. You feel like it's stuck in one place. That's a part of it. But the actual teaching of it, I'm really so grateful that I didn't just get to do what I wanted to do
right.
because it seemed to be such a good foundation for living and for life. I mean, you become a perennial student and you become a perennial teacher. I think that's why I'm still in the industry because from that perspective, you always find a reason to inspire or get inspired. Whatever happens, you have an instinct to try again. And then,
Yeah.
you have no guarantees of anything, but it keeps coming out okay. So you're still here. I don't know how it happens, but
I
and
love that.
I think that's good too. That's kind of mysterious. You don't really, you can't like figure it all out. And there's no guarantees, but you know that it keeps you focused, it keeps you striving, it keeps you trying to see, okay, what are people doing now?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not just fashion and the latest kind of music, although that's certainly part of it. But after a point, I think because it's intrinsic too, you see that music is a part of the human spirit.
that's
And
right.
we gotta have that.
Yes, you do.
So then I realized, okay, this ain't just me. I know I gotta have it, but people need to have music, and you find, okay, well, let me be a little bit patient. That's easy to say. It's not. I mean, because some really difficult things happen, but they happen to people. They happen in life,
That's right.
and after a while, of course, time passes by, and you see you have some longevity. You say, okay, you have to make some choices, and then you do them more willingly and more with an agenda and with a focus. And I think
Right.
you get better at, not taking such terrible falls on the time and making
Well,
these,
that's true. You get better navigating things.
yes, yes, you do. And then of course I think that really, really helps. you have a sense of gratitude.
Yes, very important.
Because you have to get along with people. You don't have them, you don't have.
That's right.
And so you be nice to people. So they'll be
Well,
nice.
I love that you get that because a lot of entertainers, musicians, actors, they struggle with that piece of it. But if there's no fans, then what you're doing isn't going to exist.
And that's easy to say and everything, but just as human beings, we kind of are naturally narcissistic. We think about what we want, and
Yes.
that you feel comfortable. You forget if I don't have them, and then like if you have agents and managers and they kind of sell you and everything, but sometimes that falls apart, and it did for me. And you got to be your own salesman. You learn real quick you need other people. I
That's
learned
a really good point.
too, and then I see the look on your face if I'm not, doing it right. I say,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I need this job. I need this person. It kind of connects,
Well, it does, and it straightens you up pretty quick.
real quick.
Once you figure that out, that you can't survive just on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it straightens you up pretty quick because we all need people.
Yeah. And that is like universal. So I think that's a great thing, especially in terms of, what can I say, seeing how whatever your work is or your passion is, how it cuts through to what everybody is and what they need, and how, because we're different. You can think, well, I'm the only, always, almost always feels like you're the only one going through this.
Right.
I don't know why that happens, but that's the human condition.
Yes. Well, we're very, it goes back to us being very self-centered. We tend to think that, oh, this terrible thing is only happening to me. Or I'm the only one that's had to struggle with this.
I still feel that way, but now that I know that's not true and I need people, I kind of work at,
That's right.
Don't allow that to take over me. Keep working at, don't do that.
It kind of boggles my mind, but your newest album, that was like number 28 for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of albums.
I've got a good catalog here. Yes.
I would have to have like 3 Columbia House subscriptions to get all of your albums.
Yeah, I've been a little bit busy.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So the new album's called Imagine, and you have you released the title track yet, or is it coming out?
Well, in this new market, I've got, how can I say this? There's been Imagine has been in like a one area.
Yeah.
Take Her Picture Down has been in another. It's been like So in Love has been in another area. There's like 2 or 3 different singles in different.
Yeah, because you've had So's Love and Take Me Away is out as well.
Right. And Imagine.
Yeah. Well, let's talk. Imagine's the new one. Let's talk about it a little bit. Tell me what is Imagine about? Which it's a beautiful song, and you sound terrific
world peace.
singing it.
It's about world peace.
Yeah. Well, we could use a little of that right now.
And imagine if every street was made of hope and peace, and people were getting along, and that's essentially the story or the lyric content. But what's really great about the music, I think, is the music.
Yeah.
And I can describe it and everything, but I hope people will.
Oh, they need to listen because my wife and I listened to your music all weekend, which is what I tend to do when I have somebody coming on, and we love it.
Then what I'm trying to do is make my description of it entice you to go and listen to Imagine, because you've listened to it. And the first thing that caught my attention, you can tell me if it did you, was that beautiful guitar entrance.
Oh, now that you say that was a beautiful guitar entrance.
And you see, talking about it, you can't hear it, so we're missing a little bit of something.
Yeah, who was playing that? I read that who was playing guitar, but who was doing the solo for you?
I can't remember his name. Is it Eric Leon?
That's it. Yeah. Well, he was really good. It was
beautiful.
It catches you right off.
Beautiful.
Right.
And then the music comes in, and it's just so sweet and kind of haunting, and I believe it just draws you in.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think, okay, I'm Melba Moore, and I want you to know who I am. But I feel like whoever listens to the music, they don't really care who's singing it. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, they're
it's beautiful to listen
yeah,
to.
is it good or not? That's probably what they're more thinking of. And you're right, it's beautiful. It's
It's
uh
soothing, it's pretty,
I was gonna
and
say it's soothing, and it you listen to it, and at the end of it, you feel better.
has a nice kind of lilting beat, kind of maybe not Latino, but um a moderate tempo beat. So the
Yeah,
energy is is smooth and nice, but it has energy.
it did have energy, and you're right because it kind of gets you as you're
Yeah,
listening because
yeah,
it's just nice to listen to, but it
yeah.
does get you bouncing around a little bit.
And as we were saying, of course, all that's very, very, very important with all the horrible things that we're having to be in the midst of. It's
Yeah.
just what's happening. And it's happening to other people, and we care about it, and we don't want to just turn it off or anything, but you have to have somewhere to go. And I think my music is where you should go.
I love that, and you're right. We spent the weekend with your music. It was pretty good. It's a pretty good trip.
Yeah. So that's the latest single, Imagine.
Yeah, and it's terrific. And the other two, so in love and take me away, love those as well.
Those two, and I think the whole album has a similar feeling as Imagine, in that it's lilting, is pretty, it has energy.
When you're making an album, do you try to tell like does every song kind of tell a story, or is each song kind of stand on its own, if that makes sense?
But that's the same thing. Each song stands on its own. Each song tells a story. Yes.
Well, yeah. So the overall album tell a story that all the songs are helping to tell, or does each song kind of
As
tell
it
its own?
turned out, it did.
Okay, yeah, that was
I
that
mean,
was
it
that's
doesn't
what I
have
was trying to
to.
get to.
It doesn't have to, but it did because Janice Dempsey, one of the songwriters and producers on the album, insisted that I do something that included my theatrical career in terms of
Yeah,
just in the music. And it basically, I say, thank you so much for giving me this life. And, and I say how much it meant to me.
yeah.
And the story is totally different from anything else on the album because it's just about my life on Broadway. But it's
Right.
not a Broadway sounding song. It sounds like the
No,
rest
you're right. Yeah, it's not, but that is what it's about. Well,
and I'm not a songwriter.
yeah,
And so I have to kind of key into other people's personalities and their talents when they do this, and then see if it fits me.
yeah.
So I really like those two songs about me because the young lady that wrote them, I know she really, 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 really knows me,
Yeah.
but she's a professional songwriter.
Right. Right. No, I kind of love that because I'd love to have somebody write a song about me,
Right.
but I'm not sure who would do that. My wife maybe would know me well enough to write a song if she wrote music, but yeah, that would
Well,
be pretty great. Like if you wrote it about yourself, that'd be pretty great. But it's even better when somebody's writing it about you.
well, it wouldn't be great because I'm not a songwriter.
Right.
So it would be missing that ambiance that you have.
Yeah.
That is a gift of a songwriter
That's right. It's a skill. Yeah.
to bring that together and understand, I don't know how it translates into a feeling, and then how that fits into the commercial aspect of the art.
Yeah.
Because you got to have a hit record or nobody gonna hear it.
Well, yeah, you got to get it in front of people for sure.
Right. Right. So it has to fit a format,
Yeah.
but you don't want it to be like cookie cutter. You want it to have an identity. So, but these are all gifts and talents that people bring to this. I know that's true.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're exactly right. Because it's in some respect, the singing is the easy part because you get that out, but then you got to do all the stuff that puts the song together, and then you got to market it, which is probably the hardest part.
Well, I'm not if that's what you know how to do.
True.
I don't know how to do that except, I do it and I get a good marketing team and they set me up with wonderful people like you.
Well, that's pretty nice of them.
I can do my little part, but what you're saying is the whole marketing strategy and
Yeah,
who the people are and what that's going to be. Yes, they have to be as talented at that as hopefully I am at
that's
singing it.
right.
What's really great is the singer is out front, so they always get all the credit for everything. But we didn't do it all. We can't do it all.
No, you can't do everything. That's exactly right. It dawned on me that I kept I always when I'm prepping, I try to remember all the different things I've seen the person I'm talking to in. And I remember this Saturday morning, and I was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And at about 11 o'clock, American Bandstand came on, and it was followed immediately by Soul Train. And I remember you performing on Soul Train because I watched it there, probably eating a bowl of cereal or something, watching it. And that was, I mean, literally, that was 50 years ago. It's amazing because to me, you don't look any different. You don't look like you've aged a bit.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's something to be very, very grateful for because the wear and tear that life can take on you.
Of course.
Jesus have mercy.
Are you do you tour at all anymore? Do you play some live performances?
That's what I do for a living. Yes, that's
Yeah.
how I pay my rent, touring.
Yeah, that's touring is not easy.
You
That's a
don't make
hard
a lot
life.
you don't make a lot of money out of record sales because they download.
Yeah.
So you have to make it from touring.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's not like it was back in the day when you were just getting money from the album sales. You know, now it's all streaming, and you gotta sell just a ton of them to get anything.
Right. So you have to tour.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
Maybe that's what
stay? Do
keeps
you
you
stay
busy.
local, or do you just go everywhere?
I'm getting ready to go to France next week.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. My wife leaves for Portugal in about a week, but she's got to make a stop after Portugal. She's got to stop in France for a little
You
bit.
go on vacation or?
No, she works for Live Nation, so
Oh,
she's on the go most of the time. She's on the usually my rule is first time she goes somewhere, I don't go with her because I know that's a work trip. She's going to be
right.
busy. But once she's been there once, I might sneak out there with her because I
Yeah,
can do what I do anywhere. So
that's
I
true.
may follow her out there next time. But she's been to France many times, but this will be her first trip to Portugal. So
Great. Great.
yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. So
Well, yes, I tour and I'm not local. I am global.
yeah, it sounds like you're global. How long are you're going to France? Are you bouncing around Europe or are you staying in France?
No, I'm coming back and continuing to tour here once I come
Oh,
back.
that's nice. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's not easy, but that's
No, it's not easy. But I mean, it's probably why I look good because you got to stay in shape. You have to watch out for your
it's a
health.
grind.
You have to watch out for your health, and you have to know, what's good for you and what's not.
That's right. That's right. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you were one of the original cast members for Hair, which is kind of
Yes,
a pretty neat distinction. How
very.
did that come about? How did that end up that you were one of the original?
Well, I had left teaching school and I was doing studio backup work.
Yeah.
And one of the recording sessions was for Galt McDermott, who wrote the music for the Broadway show Hair.
Yeah.
He was also the music director, and he was also the keyboardist. And he was performing his own album of the music from Hair. And I was a backup singer on the date. And they were still casting.
So the timing worked out.
It was the timing. So they invited everybody that was on the recording session to come and sing for the director and producer. They were still looking for strong singers to do some of the parodies and stuff that they did in the show. And they said that if the director and the producer accepted us, they would find a role for us in the show. So I went and sang for the Julie Arena, that's her name. She was the choreographer director.
Yeah.
And Michael Bennett was the producer. Anyway, I was accepted. I got in the what we used to call the tribe. We didn't call it a chorus
Right.
because we was hippies. They didn't have families. They had tribes.
That's right.
So that's how I got in.
That's pretty good. Do you have a preference? Do you prefer to perform on stage singing, or do you prefer the theater? They're both very similar. I guess you're on stage either way.
No, they're very, very different.
Okay, so which one would you prefer? I mean, they're both on stage. That was the only
Both
similar.
on stage,
Yeah,
but as an actor, you have to tell the story with the whole body,
very
whether
true.
it's a musical or it's not a music.
Right.
So that's the thing I learned. One of the things I started to learn by doing a musical, by doing hair
Yeah.
and working with the spoken word and working with movement as it pertained to the play.
Yeah.
And actually, Tom O'Horgan was a great. He was greatly known for experimental theater.
Yes.
So they were happy to take people like me and some of the other people that were in the cast that didn't have any experience but had a certain talent and interesting
Yeah.
personality and train us how to be in their kind of theater.
That's pretty great. I mean, so you're just
I learned on the
kind of
job.
collecting skills as you're going along. You're collecting these skills
Yes.
for your tool belt, and now here you are.
Well, I think that's kind of like how I am now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you haven't stopped learning. You're still out there, learning new things, and you're still putting
Yeah.
new music out there, which is
Yeah.
impressive.
Right.
At some point, maybe you got to slow down a little bit, but you haven't done it yet.
Well, it may seem like I'm going at a breakneck speed, but it's paced.
Well, I hope so. I hope you're getting a little bit of rest.
Then like every once in a while you show a reel or something of what you've done and it's all together. So it's, oh my God, you did all, and of course now it's 50 years, so it's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, do you do a concert now and it's like it's probably 8-hour concert. You've got too many songs.
I can't do all the songs.
How do you choose your set list? Because obviously you've got 28 records to choose from. How do you choose what you're going to sing for one
Well,
particular show?
different genres want different kinds of music.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yeah.
The request for the type of music they want, and I picked that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, depending on what the show is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
good.
almost all of them want to hear something from Purlie, my Broadway show that I got a Tony Award with. And that kind of music is like, it's not even country music. It's Broadway hokey
It's
music.
yeah, that's right. It's Broadway. Did you tell me if I'm
Don't
wrong?
have no category.
Well, it's its own category. I don't know what that is, but
I mean, everybody always wants to hear that. So I always usually do I Got Love and Purlie, regardless of the kind of show I'm doing.
yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Am I wrong, or did they that eventually became like a movie or a TV show, right?
Well, in the beginning, Ossie Davis wrote it for himself and Ruby Dee.
Okay.
And they did it as a movie, a black and white movie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They did it on Broadway. And it was called Purlie Victorious. But there was no music.
Okay. Gotcha.
Then they rewrote it again.
Boy, it had quite the life.
And I was cast in the Ruby Dee role of Lutibelle Gussie Mae Jenkins.
Yeah.
Steve Von Little did the role that Ossie Davis had originally done.
Yeah.
That was for the Broadway version, but we made a taped version where I played the role of Lutibelle and Robert Guillaume played the role of
I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
and Sherman Hemsley did the role that he did on Broadway and in the tape version. So we've had kind of like 3 versions.
Yeah, that's kind of it's had quite the life, quite the journey.
Yeah. And I think that's why a lot of people still know about it because it's online. You can go watch it.
Oh yeah, it's still out there. Yeah. Yeah, and you're terrific in it. It holds up. That's a good show.
We're still country.
Still.
Well, not as in country music as we have today, but just country.
That's right. It's country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I live in the country. I know.
You got an accent too.
Well, I always knew I had one, but I didn't realize it was this thick until I started
It
doing
is.
the podcast.
I love it.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I get a lot of questions about, where I'm from.
You sound like you're from down south, Virginia, somewhere.
Yeah,
Good.
it's in West Virginia, right outside Charleston.
It's
So
very American.
very, yeah, I'll give you that. You don't hear this accent anywhere else.
Well, I have a New York accent.
Yeah, yeah, but it's not like it's some New York accents can be a little aggressive,
It's
but yours
strong.
isn't
Yeah, yeah,
aggressive. Yeah,
yeah.
yours is
I
yours is
think
pleasant.
it's kind of waned a little bit since I get to talk professionally so much.
Yeah.
People have to understand what you're saying.
That's right. That's right. Well, if you listen to me talk to family, my accent's even worse.
I'm sure.
It gets thick.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I'll tell you my New York story. So this has
Yeah.
been years ago, but my first trip to New York, I went and I was in Times Square, and there's so many people. There's just so many people, and I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'd start to move, and somebody come. I wait, start to move, somebody come through,
Yeah.
and finally, this police officer on a horse came up behind me, and he said, "Buddy, if you don't just go, you're going to stand here all day long." And he's right.
You were not from here.
You got to go. You can't just. I was just being polite, and I was politing myself into standing in the same spot for about 20 minutes.
I know. And there's so many people. I think that's really good. It shows that they're doing a good job because they're all tourists. Or everybody
Oh
wants to
yeah.
come and visit. And that's what the city is for. So I think if it's possible, there's even more people here now. It's so jammed packed. They have to they made like an area in the street to add to the pedestrian way because there's so many people. But
Oh, yeah. You can't describe it. You have to experience it.
It ain't just a parade, honey.
Well, you've got more people, in New York City than we've got in the whole state of West Virginia.
We could.
Yeah, but love New York. Great
And
food, so much to do.
And people they're polite. I mean, they're
most of the people you run into very nice.
Because there's some crazies and everything. We get that everywhere, I'm sure. But
Sure.
But people are, they help you along, or they would let you in if you ease in. You probably found that out once you got the nerve to move.
Once I start moving, I was fine. So what comes after Imagine? You've got Imagine the single out, but are you going to continue to release singles from the album, or is it?
I have other projects, independent projects that are going on too. So it's a whole new day in music. So
Yeah.
it's
Tell me about those.
My daughter's label, and but it's not like I was with Capitol Records or or
Is this your daughter Charlie?
That's Charlie.
I've got a granddaughter named Charlie. It's Charlotte, but we call her Charlie. So yeah,
Oh,
I really like that as a girl's name.
Yeah. So, but I have other independent projects, so I'm always having something, like a lot of dance independent songs.
Yeah.
That are being. So I'll continue to do that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you stay so busy.
Well, it's all I do. I have the time. I don't do anything else.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. If you're focusing all your time on something,
I mean,
that's done.
That's my focus on. Of course, I make time to do some other things, but that's my profession. That's my calling. That's my vocation. It's me. And I'm going to do other acting projects, but I feel like music is my calling. It's my anointing.
Yeah.
And I do that as my centerpiece. Other things come out of it. That's what's always happened. I sung. It always led me to something else that came out of that. So far, I've never done a play or a movie that didn't have music yet.
Right.
And I don't mind if I never do, but I don't mind if I do.
Yeah. Well, you could totally handle it. Your acting's very strong.
Thank you.
I would say that you're a terrific actress if you didn't sing so well. So I say you're a
I'm
singer, but
competing with myself.
you're really good as an actress too. Yeah, you're a talented person. Do you do like, are you creative in other ways outside of music?
I think I am. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think, well, first of all, I think I'm a thinker.
Yes.
So, and I'm not necessarily always thinking about something I'm going to do. I want to know, like, why is the sky blue?
Yeah.
I think I'm a deep thinker.
Yeah.
That may be kind of like a hobby with me. And I love people. So, and I know I have to work. I mean, you have to make money, you have to put a roof over your head.
Sure.
So I kind of do that. And I'll see where that leads me because you always have to, I think, get to your next level. You have to mature
Yes. Yeah, I
in
agree with that.
life, period.
Well, as soon as you stop pushing or stop learning, then that's usually when you decline pretty quickly.
Well, it's more than that too. The world passes on, and if you want to stay in it, whether
It
you're
does.
whatever, you have to kind of figure out, well, where are we now? What is society about now?
Yeah.
How they're always about the same thing, but how are they expressing it now? And how do you fit in? And are you growing? Are you at the same level that you were 50 years ago? You may be doing the same thing, but it should not be with the same
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. You're not in the same space. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Melba, thank you for taking a little bit of time. This has been terrific. I'm such a fan of yours. It's rare when my parents take an interest in someone I'm talking to, but they were very interested that I was talking with you. I was like, I'm talking to Melba Moore, and yeah, they were pretty excited. I was like, yeah, I'll
Great.
tell you.
Great. Well, I've enjoyed this chat very much.
Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad we were able to do that. Couple little things though before I let you go.
Sure.
Anything we've talked about most of it, but was there anything else that you're working on that you wanted to mention?
Oh, well, I am working on a one woman play with music, which is
Oh,
autobiographical, called From Melba. No, no, Melba Moore from Broadway with Love.
oh, you got to keep me posted on that. We may have to make a trip to New York. See that one.
Yeah, I'm going to mount that for theater.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you should. That's you should do
Now,
that.
I'm going to begin, around the country, but I may bring it to off Broadway.
Yeah, well, keep me posted because we'll make a trip. We love taking little weekend trips to go to a show.
Yeah.
Are you on social media? Do you have a website? Where can we
Oh,
find
it's
more about Melba?
melbamore.com.
Yeah, yeah, and it's pretty good. I don't know who you have doing it, but they're doing a good job. That's websites are hard.
He says I have about 200,000 followers now, something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
websites are hard to maintain, but
Yeah.
yeah, yours is really good.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Are you on social media at all? Instagram,
Yeah, all of
Facebook?
them. Yeah.
Yeah, just under your name. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, Melba, you'll have to come back at some point and give us an update. Tell us what's going on.
Thank
But
you so,
I've had the best time. Thank you so much.
thank you so much. Hate to be redundant, but thank you.
All right, Melba, hold on one second. Legendary singer Melba Moore. I'm just thrilled to death that got to talk with her. Um, Talented lady. I was pretty young when she had her variety show on television. My parents loved it, so I know it must have been pretty good. And, in the 70s, there was a lot of people that had variety shows. You had Donnie Marie and some different ones that uh, would do that, and I always loved those types of shows. We've had a few here and there over the last decade or so, but that's not something that pops up too often. I wish it did. Variety shows can be a lot of fun. We used to also get the like the Battle of the Network Stars or the circus. We used to have the stars and circus. I miss those days. Let's put those back because it brought people that you admired or were fans of. It kind of brought them made them more accessible, made them a little more human, if that makes sense. I always enjoyed those shows. Melba, talented lady, not just singing, terrific actress, pretty impressive that she was on the original Hair. That amazes me. The new album is Imagine. The new single is Imagine. She also has out the singles So in Love and Take Me Away. So do yourself a favor and check these out. Her voice has only gotten better. She's such a good singer. Loved You Stepped Into My Life, which I believe was originally like a Bee Gees B track. So like on the backside of a record. Love her version of that. She had This Is It. We talked about my parents love that one. I think that's the one she was singing on Soul Train when I remember, but 50 years ago, so I'm not 100%. Make Me Believe in You. Love that one. Lean on Me. Such a great song. Never Say Never. A Lot of Love. Falling. A Little Bit More. And Lift Every Voice and Sing. Can't believe I didn't ask her about that one, because that one is fantastic. Lift Every Voice and Sing. Love that one. Thank you guys for tuning in again with us this time. Definitely don't take you for granted. Just thrilled to death that you're here. Would love to have your support. It's easy to do. It's free. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find almost 900 episodes. We're going to hit 900 early next week. You can find all of those audio and video versions on the website, meistercon.com. Check us out there. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. It's free. Really helps us out. Helps us to keep bringing these terrific guests on. If you're a music fan, check out our music playlist. You'll be surprised at the absolutely fabulous musicians that we've had on the show. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.